Spending a night on the mountain is a truly unique experience. Definitely a bucket list moment. This is Mount Križ, a relatively unknown peak in the Julian Alps, and this is the story of how we spent the night there.
Absolutely crazy. I'm back in the mountains with Peter, and we are here in the Julian Alps in Slovenia. So we have been walking for about an hour now and had a short breakfast back there, and now we will continue towards the first peak, Mount Križ. Up there is where we have to go first.
The original plan was to start our ascent from the Vrata valley, but because the road was closed, we were forced to drive to the other side of the mountain and start from there. The trail ascended over the rubble and through the sparse forest.
We have stopped for a short break. This is my favorite part of the Julian Alps, especially now in the winter, because it's not crowded.
Walking through this landscape was like stepping into another world. Complete silence, nature covered in snow, breathtaking views, and not a single person in sight.
We are slowly approaching the wall, which I believe is going to be the hardest part of today's climb. Look at this beautiful view. Incredible. Adrenaline levels are rising because from here it looks like there's no way we can get over this wall. Of course, we're not gonna push it. I hope the rocks are not frozen up there.
The person in front had a lot more work to do than the one behind, so we took turns.
Sve sam pa sklet pač malo zjeban. Tako da moraš malo na kolen pa neki, ne vem.
You see this rock, we go above the rock.
Up there is the cable.
I see.
We used the GPS to stay on the marked path. Also, the cables and pitons sticking out of the snow were a big help for navigation. In some areas, we could even spot the trail markers. In general, the snow wasn't very deep, just enough to cover the rocks. However, in some places it drifted up to 50 centimeters. These were the areas where we had to be the most careful. Despite the lack of wind, it was still pretty cold outside.
This part here is super steep. We made a mistake when we had a sandwich break. We stopped for too long and now I'm freezing. I have to warm up. This one is Prisojnik. We have been there this year, and this one is Raza.
We had been walking in the shade since morning, so we couldn't wait to get to the sun.
Sonček, stari.
The upper part of the wall wasn't very steep, and on top of that, it was sunny. The climb up the wall took way longer than we initially thought, so by the time we reached the top, it was clear we wouldn't make it to all 3 peaks as originally planned. 2 at most.
We have done it. The wall is behind us. That was the most challenging climb ever. This was crazy. It's taken a huge amount of time, and definitely we won't be able to go on 3 peaks today. Križ definitely, and maybe the second peak, Stena. Right now we're gonna have a proper sandwich break. Thank you. Acho que eu go crazy. We also decided that we definitely won't descend here tomorrow, even though this is the only way to get back to our car. There are a few other routes that go into the neighboring valleys, and we're gonna choose one of them and descend there tomorrow, and then we're gonna figure out how to get to our car. But that is the problem for tomorrow. Right now we're gonna continue towards Mount Križ and then maybe towards Mount Stena. This is Razor and this is Prisonic, and yeah, if you want to go to our car we have to go behind the Prisonic.
From this point on, the path got much flatter. We only had to watch out for any potential holes in the ground. The wind picked up, and even though the sun was shining, it wasn't very warm. After about 15 minutes of walking, we reached a signpost that was completely covered in a thick layer of ice.
Nice.
The last 30 vertical meters were a bit more exposed. Unlike the climbing on the wall, here all the rocks and cables were covered in ice.
This is Triglav, the highest mountain in Slovenia, 2,864 meters. What? The gap is too narrow. That's why I will leave my backpack here. This was the hardest climb. The wall was crazy. We successfully reached Mount Križ, and we have decided that we are not gonna continue towards Mount Stena because we have lost too much time in the wall. Sometimes everything doesn't go according to initial plan, and today was a day like this. And also we're not gonna sleep here because of the wind. We're gonna descend 30 meters and we're gonna find a spot there because it's just too windy here. I hate the wind. Too narrow for the backpack. This is a test if you are fat, because if you are too fat you can't fit. Oh shit. I was sick this week actually. I caught some kind of stomach flu. Today is basically the first day that I feel like 100%, and therefore I appreciate this adventure today even more. Look at this winter wonderland, incredible. Peter has upgraded. He was a photographer and now he bought the brand new Insta360 X4 and he is also the cameraman now.
Yep.
We will set up a camp down there somewhere. In 1 hour the sun will go behind the horizon. X marks the spot. First time in the mountains for this winter jacket. That's better, like a lot better.
While Peter was playing chess, I started building the shelter. I made blocks out of snow, which I then used to build a wall that would protect us from the wind during the night. The wind had already picked up a bit while I was building the shelter.
This is the beauty of nature. Mountains in the winter are much more stunning, especially if you put some orange light on the snow. Now I will build snow walls on all 4 sides that will protect us from the wind. This top layer is shit because it's just powder.
Later, Peter joined me in building. Altogether, we spent about an hour building the shelter.
It's finished. Whew. Now we can move in. The walls are 1 meter high, so that should protect us from the wind. Absolutely crazy. Oh, yeah. The straps are completely frozen. We have been laying in the sleeping bags for half an hour now to warm up, and now we will prepare dinner.
For dinner, we had sausages and Peter also brought some bread with him.
Currently it's -10 degrees outside and I can't wait for the dinner to be cooked. Awesome. Ho ho ho, that's a proper dinner. Well deserved after such an exhausting hike. Bon appetit. Yeah.
We hadn't been eating much during the day, just sandwiches, so it was no surprise that we were still hungry after the dinner.
That's basically it for today. The weather is perfect, and if we turn off the lights we can see stars and Mount Triglav in the distance. There's really not much to do right now, especially because it's super cold. So yeah, I'll just wrap in my sleeping bag and meditate until I fall asleep. So see you in the morning. Good morning. The sleep was good. We slept for 10 hours. The wind picked up a bit in the night and the temperature dropped a few more degrees. Right now we are picking up the courage to go out of the sleeping bags and start packing all the shit. I basically have half of the backpack in the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Also we missed the sunrise, but anyway it was behind Mount Stena and the view is absolutely incredible. There is Mount Triglav in the morning colors right in front of us. Also this is not frozen, only the wind blew up some snow during the night, so everything is good. I left 3 liters of water in my backpack and they probably are frozen. Except this one. Almonds. Almonds have 600 calories per 100 grams. Crazy.
After breakfast, we slowly started packing. If I hadn't kept my hiking boots inside my sleeping bag overnight, they would have probably been frozen.
Alright, now I only have to put all this stuff in the backpack. I have made a little mistake. I left crampons outside and now they are frozen. I mean the straps are frozen. Okay, maybe not so much. And the view, incredible. You can tell it's windy just by looking how fast the fog is moving. Well, I think we are ready. Peter has to put on the crampons and then we are ready to go. As you can see, we have cleaned up everything and most importantly, we have took all the trash, so there is nothing left behind, only the snow walls. Goodbye! Alright. Woo!
This mix of fog, wind and cold isn't really among my favorites. We navigated using the footprints from the previous day and the GPS. Lower down, the wind calmed a bit.
It's much better here. Up there the wind was too strong and I finally warmed up a bit. What's up?
Mount Days now. It's a bit to the right, the path.
This is how we find the right route and not get lost.
So we're a bit to the right because it's 1 meter over there.
Had to remove a few layers. It was getting too hot. Bivouac 4.
We didn't know there was a bivouac nearby, and since it was on the way down to the valley, we decided to check it out.
Hey.
I took off the crampons before entering the bivouac. There were 2 sleeping places inside, I think for around 6 or maybe 8 people. The windows were closed and overall the bivouac was really dirty, probably the dirtiest one I've been to. There were drops of bread on the table and it seemed like there might have been mice in there. I was pretty disappointed. There was also this wardrobe. Inside it had a couple of stoves, a roll of toilet paper and some trash bags.
Well, you can tell this bivouac is not very crowded and it's probably old too. Alright. we had a short sandwich break here, and yeah, now we will continue towards the valley. Also, we checked on the internet, and the bivouac was built first in 1948, then destroyed 2 years later because of some snowstorm, and rebuilt in 1953. So this one is 71 years old. This is the Vrata Valley. We're going to that cottage down there somewhere, and then we have to walk for 5 kilometers on the road because it's winter season and the road is closed. And then Peter's dad is gonna pick us up and drive us to our car on the other side of the mountain, because as I mentioned yesterday, we're not descending on the same route. We have successfully descended to the Vrata Valley. Behind me you can see Aljažev cottage, and now we have 5 kilometers of road in front of us. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and see you soon.